Hey guys, what is happening? Metal Viking here, and welcome back to another exciting video of my anime audio vlogs, as I like to call them. Um, yes, welcome back to the channel. I do hope that you will enjoy this video. I know I'm certainly happy right now because it turns out there has been some leaked information. I'm not quite sure who the source is. I've looked it up, but like I said, when I follow like I've said many times before, when I follow anime news and stuff on Twitter, it's either insufferable people trying to virtue signal about how morally superior they are for not consuming certain types of anime or anime content. Or if not that, it's generally people making troll posts and troll news. So generally, Twitter is not normally the place that I go to for any kind of news. I tend to just either stick to other social media platforms where the shit posting and the trolling and the baiting is a little less. But it appears to come from a legitimate source. I'm not quite sure where the actual original tweet or post or website link came from, but according to all these different pages here, and I'm looking at this from Anime News and Facts, don't know how reliable they are, but someone can tell me in the comments below. But either way, they appear to be legitimate. So basically, the good news is today is that Chainsaw Man is not only getting a second season, which is apparently in production as we speak, but it's also getting a movie. Now, before we go any further with the video, guys, I just want to encourage you all to please subscribe to the channel and to also go and check out my main channel, Metal Viking. Over there, you will see the better, more higher produced quality content there with my series such as Let's Construct a Concept album, Metalhead reviews anime songs, other anime and analysis discussion videos, and you will also be able to check out my podcast, the Animetal Cast, which will be resuming its regular upload schedule. It will resume very soon. I have managed to recruit some new members to join and record episodes regularly, so that we are hoping to upload an episode at least once a week. We're hoping to, but we'll see how it goes from there. And also, guys, make sure to check the description box below. You can follow me on all my various social media accounts, and you can also help support the channel by going to my Patreon. It only costs $1 a month, and there you will get access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content, videos that have been blocked on YouTube due to copyright reasons. You will be able to see those in all their full glory without any censoring and extra edits that affect the video's quality on YouTube. And not only that, but you will also be able to see some of the early teasers that I'm posting for my own manga project that I am working on with fellow South African artist Dean Brawson. I will include the link to his art station in the description box below as well. So do go check his art out, especially if you want to hit him up for commissions. Basically this manga, I can't reveal too much about it, but all I can say is that if you are a fan of Berserk, the case study of Vanitas, Guillermo del Toro's The Strain, H.P. Lovecraft, and Solomon Kane, if you are a fan of any of those properties or authors, make sure that you check it out. And with that being said, with all the plugs out of the way, let us carry on with the video. So like I said, I saw this tweet earlier today by an account known as Anime News and Facts. Of course, I saw the tweet or the rumors going around first through Chibi Reviews Twitter account, because I follow him on Twitter. I saw him make a vague post about seeing some kind of leaks and news, and then lo and behold, other accounts started picking up on it, maybe the algorithm only started recommending them to my timeline after seeing that tweet. But either way, whatever the case is, so this particular tweet in question, the one from Anime News and Facts, so it says that Chainsaw Man Season 2 is currently in production, and that Chainsaw Man will also be getting a movie. So now to break a few things down here, for season two is of course going to be the direct sequel to season one. It's going to continue the story where season one left off. I have a funny feeling that the movie is going to just be like the upcoming Bocce the Rock movie, and like many other movies that air after the first season of an anime. I have a feeling that this movie is just going to be nothing more than a summary of the events of season one, where they take all 12 episodes, splice it down to some of the big highlights and the big moments, and make it feel like you're watching a movie as opposed to a whole season. And but that's what I think the movie is going to be. I don't think the movie is going to be a tie-in with of anything like that sort. I don't think it's going to do what Goblin Slayer and Maiden Abyss did, where you had these tie-in movies where you had to watch them in between seasons in order to get what was going on, because they either maybe added extra content that enhanced the following seasons, or covered arcs that would be too short to adapt into a full season. So that's my theory as to what the movie is going to cover and what the movie is going to be about. But as for season two, all I can say is this much: I'm just happy that there is going to be a season two. I do still worry that they might look at the reception that season one got from a very loud vocal minority in Japan. I'm not sure Mappa will listen to that minority and kick the director Ryu Nakamura. I don't know if they'll kick him off and get a different director on, kind of like well, it's not the same situation. No one had a problem with Mushoku Tensei. If anything, Mushoku Tensei was a huge hit, but Mushoku Tensei has apparently changed directors, and usually that could result in the show getting a very different vibe and feel to it. And I just know that the vocal minority who really hated season one and how it was adapted and had a bit more of that live action movie flair to it, and the way it was directed and paced and everything, and preferred the more standard stylized format of storytelling that anime is known for. I just think it's possible that we might have a different director, and that season two could be completely different from season one. But I somehow doubt it. Even if they did get a new director, it wouldn't make a sense to have two seasons be so completely jarring to one another in tone and in presentation. It would be like what happened with the DC EU, where it started off with the whole dark Zack Snyder kind of storytelling and filters and whatnot to give it that dark DC look, and then all of a sudden everyone complained and said, oh, it was too dark, and now all of a sudden the DC movies are trying to be too much like Marvel and they suck, and whatnot. And this is not me trying to be a Zack Snyder simp, mind you. This is just sometimes the contrast in tone is due to some kind of outcry, can be a little bit jarring and often results in the failure of a project. So I would rather Mappa continue adapting Chainsaw Man as is, and then maybe when part 2 gets more volumes and can be adapted into anime format, if they want to change directors, because maybe the tone of part 2 is not quite a live action cinema quality, and would only be better presented in a more stylized format, maybe that could work. But otherwise I just hope that they continue with Ryu Nakamura as the director, no matter these fans who didn't like the adaptation thought about his directing style. I personally thought that the anime looked great. Like, yes, I will admit the CGI in some moments does not look particularly great and can be a particularly jarring and wonky, but compared to some other CGI I've seen, and especially as a Berserk fan, how I have been traumatized by Berserk 2016, I can tell you that it looks a damn sight better than some of the CGI in a lot of modern anime. So all I can say is this as well. Another thing I have to say about it is, like I said, I'm just thinking about this. It's I had this thought today because basically a lot of people were speculating that Chainsaw Man won't get a season 2 because a lot of people were misconstruing what the CEO of Mappa said when he said that Chainsaw Man, it was a financial success, but it wasn't as successful as something like, say, Jujutsu Kaisen. It didn't make nearly as much money as Jujutsu Kaisen. Now, of course, just because it didn't make as much money as something that is more popular, then it doesn't mean they didn't make money, or that there's no need to continue with the risk and trying to make more money out of that IP. It's quite obvious that they either managed to break even with Chainsaw Man, or they managed to make more than enough to continue production, despite the outcry from some fans. But the thing is, at the end of the day, it's not like the show was a failure. And I know a lot of people who have a hate boner for this series, as far as the international audience is concerned, especially on Twitter. These people don't know the basics of business, of any economic stuff, basically. And it's like, even though, yes, it is true that Bocce the Rock sold more Blu-ray copies and whatnot, and there's that whole meme going around about it, like, oh, Bocce the Rock is deeper and more popular than Chainsaw Man. Chainsaw Man overrated, haha. Despite all of that, the thing is, there's also to take into consideration that, yes, DVD and Blu-ray sales in Japan do matter quite a bit when it comes to determining whether something should continue production or not. However, what these people are forgetting is that those statistics are coming from the retail outlets that are selling the regular editions of the Blu-rays for Chainsaw Man, where it's just got the standard regular cover and the discs only contain the 12 episodes and maybe some fancy interactive menu or something like that, but no commentary tracks or anything, or interviews or anything that goes beyond that, right? So it's quite possible that the bulk of Mappa's sales came directly from their own websites. And the reason I say that is because basically what Mappa did, and you will see them on the screen while I'm talking on this video, is they basically decided to sell what I guess in the comic book world would be the equivalent of variant covers, but they have different custom box covers and sets for the different each of the different sets for the Blu-rays, and all of them paying homage to some of Tatsuki Fujimoto's favorite films. You've got ones that are making references to movies such as Kill Bill, The Shining, A Clockwork Orange. These are all films that Tatsuki Fujimoto loves and enjoys, and it's quite possible that a lot of the sales actually came from Mappa's site, which of course they haven't released to the public yet, but it's quite clear that they were able to make some bank off of it. And I mean, I don't know about you, but if I were someone who was hardcore into collecting DVDs and Blu-rays, I would want to get the thing, the version of the product that looks the best on my shelf, as opposed to just getting it just because, oh well, I just want it and I don't care which edition I have, standard or not. I think collectors and diehard fans of the series who actually loved the anime adaptation went out of their way to buy the special edition versions that are only available on Mappa's website. So that's just one theory. Then of course you have the other side of the coin, where it's like, there's the international audience to take into account as well. Yes, don't get me wrong, Japan's demographic still has the bigger influence and the final say as to whether anime gets another season or not, because after all, at the end of the day, the anime is targeted towards Japanese audiences first, and then the international audience is just the cherry on top of it. But at the end of the day, even if people didn't like the Chainsaw Man anime adaptation, the same people who signed the petition and were very vocal about how much they didn't like the adaptation, the same people are going to go to figure stores and merch stores, and they are going to still buy body pillows of the of Makima and Power and Himeno, or if they're not going to do that, they're going to buy figures. If they're not going to buy figures, they're going to buy keychains, wallets, t-shirts, caps, all kinds of other merchandise that has been given license by not just Fujimoto with Fujimoto's permission, but also by Mappa and, of course, whichever manga publication currently holds the rights to Chainsaw Man and as an IP and allows Fujimoto to publish under to get his stuff put out there. So those sales also come into play as well, and all I'm seeing online is that a lot of figures for Chainsaw Man are being swooped up and selling out like hotcakes, like within hours of being announced. They get sold out. This is irrespective of whether some of these Japanese fans who didn't like the anime, even if they didn't like the anime, I'm sure they at least like the character designs and whatnot, and the fact that it's still their favorite character. And I don't think they're going to pass up on the opportunity to have their favorite waifu or husbando displayed on their shelf. So merch sales definitely play a large role in determining whether an IP is popular enough to continue production and get another series. It's the same thing in the metal scene. In the metal scene, you will often hear some bands and artists will complain about how they're not making enough money off of streams or even album sales because the record labels are stealing all the money. But I mean, if some of these bands were smart at the end of the day and they knew how to negotiate a contract instead of having this, it's all about the art, bro, and poverty is a virtue, which it is not. Like if they just quit that mentality, if you knew how to negotiate a contract with your record label, you could easily have it that yes, sure, the company, the record label takes the bulk of the sales from the album sales and the streams, but if you can negotiate a way where you can take the bulk of the money from merch sales or even hold the rights to the merch profits and everything all to yourself, then trust me when I say this, like, sure, just like with Chainsaw Man with the DVDs and Blu-rays, the DVD and Blu-ray sales do count for something, but a DVD or a Blu-ray doesn't cost nearly as much as what a figure does, especially a scale figure. Scale figures can easily fetch up to like $200, $300 and something dollars, and especially if you get in something made by a studio like Sideshow or Prime One Studios, which it can easily go into like $1,000, or $2,000, $3,000, something to that degree. Compare that amount of money to a handful of Blu-ray sales and DVD sales. It's just, you can't. It's the difference is like night and day. You're still making bank more so off of merch than what you are off of a DVD or Blu-ray, and the same goes for the metal scene. Like we all know that with Spotify and Apple, you're only going to get a few cents, and we do know with the album sales, like, yes, producing physical CDs or vinyls isn't cheap, but I mean the cost of producing those compared to merchandise and whatnot, especially really expensive merchandise, like that actually costs, where the materials cost more to make and to produce and manufacture, and the quality assurance and the branding and everything. Like, at the end of the day, even if the Chainsaw Man anime didn't sell enough DVDs and Blu-rays in Japan, it still sells enough merchandise to warrant its continuing production, and that's just the name of the game. That's how it works. Whether you find that to be a good thing or not, that's just how economics work. So that's just how business works. So needless to say, I am very happy that Chainsaw Man is getting a sequel. I was actually quite worried that we weren't going to get one. Of course, there is the possibility that these leaks are, just images from, season 2 that has now been cancelled for reasons, and there was a movie planned. These things can happen. There's been leaks of Hollywood films, like the Superman movie that was supposed to have Nicolas Cage stars Superman. There's all those types of things that happen, and there's also similar things with anime as well. Let's take the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Phantom Blood movie. Like, sure, that movie was actually produced in the end and whatnot, but you will never find a copy of it online anyway. At least maybe one day you might, and we might get lucky and the world will be able to see it. But for now, since 2007, no one's been able to locate a copy and upload it successfully without it being taken down and finding it. So yeah, you never know how these things could play out. But if this is legitimate, and we are definitely going to be getting a second season of Chainsaw Man and a summary movie, or I will be surprised if it is a direct sequel movie. Then yeah, I am very happy as a Chainsaw Man fan. I am very, very happy that this is happening, and that we aren't going to be left with only season 1 and then have this series stuck in limbo because of a vocal minority of haters in Japan, and not just that, but of course people who have a raging hate burner for it on Twitter and other sites such as Twitter, where people just hope and pray for the downfall of something they don't like because it will make them look more morally upright and morally virtuous online and to everyone else around them. So yeah, good on Mappa for continuing production with the series, and let's just hope that season 2 actually manages to break all the records and actually proves the naysayers wrong, and prove to people that this is the way Chainsaw Man was supposed to be adapted, and and that we get more, and that we just get more Chainsaw Man anime in general. So yeah, that's just my general thoughts on the matter. So guys, what do you think? Are you excited for Chainsaw Man season 2? Do you think this is legit? Do you think it's really going to happen? And also, just what are your overall thoughts on the franchise? Have you read the manga? Let me know in the comments below. And once again, guys, make sure to check the description box below. Check out all the links for my social media. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. Subscribe to my main channel as well. And that's pretty much everything. So until the next episode, guys, take care of yourselves. And as always, have a kick-ass day. Cheers.